Hey, and welcome back to another episode of The Chef's Table. I am Chef Evelyn, and I'm a culinary brand strategist that helps chefs live, cook, and work on their own terms. And the way I help them do that is by helping them charge premium prices by building high-end culinary brands. So listen, in today's episode, I have some things that I just need to share with you that I see happening with, culinary entrepreneurs. And I was like, you know what? I need to talk to the people. Like, I know I love to come on and give, business tips and business advice. And listen, this video is not going to be any different. But I want to share some, some very tangible things and then some kind of intangible soft skills, if you will, things that I really want to see us as a community stop doing if we want to be successful in our food businesses. Okay. So as you know, if you're new here, if you see me looking down, it's because I like to write my thoughts down so that I, make sure that I value your time as well as value on my time, right? And that I don't forget to give you what you came to get, okay? And also, if you're new here, like, welcome to the channel, okay? And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. That means you love what we are serving over here and you were hungry for more. So with that being said, I want to get into these things that I feel like in order to be successful in your food business, you've got to stop doing. And I will say this, it's almost like if I were to write a letter to my former self, right? Like when I first started on my culinary entrepreneurship journey, or when I was a couple of years in, like, I really wish somebody would have said, hey, make sure you don't do these things. Or it's going to lead to burnout. You may want to quit. You may want to just throw in the towel. You may just want to burn this whole thing down. Like, okay, I've had those seasons in my business where I was like, I'm just gonna burn it all down. Okay, right? Because I was so frustrated. And a lot of these things led to those feelings of overwhelm and just confusion and exhaustion and burnout, and like you just won't be successful if that is kind of like your normal default setting when it comes to your business. So I've got my notes here. I'm gonna be looking at those, and like I said, some of them are more tangible, some of them are a little more like mindset things. But let's get into the first one, which is you got to stop doubting yourself, okay? There are so many different perspectives about what it means to be a chef, right? And yes, there's the technical definition of about like, someone who has worked through the ranks and runs their own kitchen and manages other chefs. But, I saw a video clip a couple of months ago, and it was basically some chefs sitting in the kitchen, and they were discussing the fact that people wanted to be in culinary entrepreneurship, and that people didn't want to work in restaurants anymore, and people didn't want to work the line, and they were kind of like bashing them, if you will. And I thought to myself, like, just because somebody chose a different path doesn't mean that they're less valuable. It doesn't mean that their love for food is any less. They just didn't want the long hours, the low pay, the lack of work-life balance, people that get into substance abuse and things like that because they're depressed because they never see sunlight. Like, they just didn't want that experience, right? And so, like, there's going to be people sending you all types of messages about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And I want you to tune those people out because it will cause a lot of self-doubt. And listen, if I'm one of those people, right? Like, if you've been watching my channel and you're like, oh, she talks about a high-end culinary brand, she talks about premium prices, and I just don't want to do that. Listen, unfollow me. Unsubscribe from me if I'm a person that's making you doubt yourself, right? If you're following other chefs and they're doing things, and every week you're like, oh, I should be doing that. Oh, I should be doing that. Oh, I didn't think to do it like that. Like, let it go. I remember, I'm gonna calm down because I'm getting excited, but I remember going through a season where I basically like unfollowed every culinarian that I was following for the most part on social media, because I was in the early stages of my business and I was really trying to figure out my space. I was really trying to figure out where I wanted to land, what I wanted to do. And so I saw some chefs you know, from all walks of life doing some really interesting and amazing things. And, one day it was like, oh, my plating doesn't look like their plating, or, I don't have the following that they have, or, I didn't work in restaurants the way they did, or, I haven't been on Chapter, or whatever, right? And it was causing a lot of doubt. And I was like, their paths are not my paths. So I really need to get clear and get clear about what I want to do and what I do really well. And so I unfollowed them, right? And so, I'm not saying that that's what was giving me self-doubt. It may be something else for you. It may be something somebody said. It may be something you experienced. It could just be thoughts that you're thinking to yourself. And I want to say, like, you got to stop doubting yourself. Like, you have a desire to have your business, grow your business in a certain way, and don't make that wrong, right? Like, I love this quote, and I really wish I could give credit where credit is due, but I don't remember where I heard it. But it was like, believe your beliefs and doubt your doubts, right? Like, think about that. Believe your beliefs and doubt your doubts. Like, when a doubt comes along and you're like, man, I can't. And it's like, is that true? Is that really true? Like, think about that, right? So the first thing I would say is stop doubting yourself, okay? Listen, I kind of ramble on, but like, you get the point. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. This is going to be fun. This is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. Yes. Is there work involved to being a culinary entrepreneur? Yes. Is there work involved in creating a high-end culinary brand that demands higher prices? Absolutely. But also, this is your passion. You love food. Like, this is your life's work, right? So stop doubting yourself. Okay. On to the next thing, right? Listen, I recorded a whole video about this, right? And I don't know if that video is going to go up before or after this one, but let me tell you, if you haven't seen the video, I just want you to buckle up, because I get really, I'm going to say, excited and passionate in that video. So I will try to keep it to a minimum here. And I'm just going to try to say it calmly, since I've already done a whole video on it. But it's like, you got to stop cooking for free. I don't know what other profession, I don't know what other industry is like, the only way I will hire you is if you give me your service for free. Like, literally, the dentist does not say, let me clean your teeth for free so that you'll eventually pay me to clean your teeth. I don't know what doctor says, come in for a free visit and I will diagnose your symptoms and write you a prescription for free, and then you'll come back to me and eventually want to pay me. Like, I don't know who says, let me write this cookbook and spend hours upon hours upon hours of recipe testing and, taking photographs, and then let me just give you all the recipes away for free. Like, I don't know any car company that says, listen, come in and get this car, right? I'll give it to you for free, and then eventually you'll come back and you'll buy another car. Like, I don't know any hairstylist who is like, okay, let me do your hair for free, and then you'll come back and pay me. Like, I said, I want to go on a rant. Like, stop. Like, when you really think about it, it's ludicrous. And I think that the people who ask people to do it are just downright rude and offensive. Like, and they're always like, oh, do it for exposure for your business. Do you have a business? Do you work for free? These are questions that need answers. Okay, I said I wasn't going to get hype about it. But like, if you want to be successful in your business, like, you are a for-profit entity. You are not a nonprofit. If you're a nonprofit, that's a conversation for a different day. This is not the channel for that. You are a for-profit business. Why are you cooking for free? And then I go into, like, people are like, well, what if it's for charity, whatever. I go into that in the other video. I'm not going to go into it here, but I'm telling you, if you want to be successful in your business, you need to stop cooking for free. Okay, then here is number 3. You need to stop offering 15,000 different services. Yes, I do meal prep. I do dinner parties. I do catering. I do cooking classes. I do personal chef service. I do private chef services. I do to-go orders. I do custom cakes. I do custom desserts. Like, and I'm also a food blogger, and I also host events. And what do you do? Like, here's the thing. If you're a Jane of all trades, you're a master of none, and nobody wants to pay anybody who's not great at what they do. You want the best, right? But if you offer 17,000 different things, like I promise you, you're not doing any of them as well as you could be, right? Like, think about this. Like, if you're anything like me, if you're anything like me, I cannot stand. I can't stand this. When I go to a restaurant and their menu has page numbers. Why do you have a novel for your restaurant? Why is there a book for your restaurant? I know you're not mastering all these dishes. I know you're not about to give me nothing phenomenal, because there's no way you have mastered in mass production 97 different menu options. Just not happening. Okay? Just not happening. So, you need to specialize. Like, one of the things I talk about, like, if you do want to have a high-end culinary brand, is that you need to be a specialist. Doing 14,000 different things, 22 different things, trying to do them all well, trying to market them all at the same time, yeah, it's a no. It's an absolutely not. Do y'all hear that thunder? Listen, I'm trying to film these videos, and it is like dark outside, and the thunder is going, but we gonna keep it going. Like, this is real life here. Like, I normally edit all this kind of stuff out. Not today. You gonna get this thunder in the background, and it's just gonna be what it is. Okay, so stop offering, 1,001 different services. And I think, let me say this, and I say this with love. I think sometimes we do it because we don't have the belief that if we really narrow down and focus on being really good at one thing, that we'll make the kind of money that we want to make. And so sometimes we don't have the courage to tell people, no, that's not something that I offer. No, that's not something that I do. I used to tell people all the time, like, yes, I am a pastry chef by degree. Well, when I went to culinary school, I did both, baking and pastry, and then I did the savory side, right? But by degree, because I didn't take one class, I'm a pastry chef. I don't do wedding cakes. Absolutely not. Do I know how to do a wedding cake? Yes. Will I do a wedding cake? Absolutely not. Okay. Yes. Have I worked for catering companies? Do I cater? Absolutely not. Right. You got to know what you like, what you don't like, what you do, and what you don't do, right? Because here's the thing. If you're being a Jane of all trades and a master of none, you're spreading yourself too thin. You're exhausted. And like, then what do people know to send people to you for, right? Like, stop doing the most. It's okay. Stop doing the most. Okay, so let's keep going. Oh, the thunder. Okay, here is another thing, and I kind of talked about this in the first thing that you need to stop doing. But it's like, you gotta stop trying to copy what other chefs are doing. Oh, let me tell you, this never fails, right? So every time I get a new client, right, particularly like my one-on-one clients, when they come to work with me, they're like, oh, I saw this chef doing this, or I saw this food blogger doing that, or I saw this company doing this, and I want to do that. And I'm always like, okay. And let me say this, there's nothing wrong with inspiration or curiosity, but it's usually very specific, right? Like, that they want to do what that person is doing the way that they're doing it. And I always say to them, like, hey, that's something to keep in your pocket and see what parts of that you're drawn to, but you don't really know what why that person is doing what they're doing. You don't know if that's profitable for them. You don't know the inner workings of that. You don't know what their long-term business goals are, or why they're doing that, right? So like, there was this one chef, and they were going around the country doing like these pop-up dinners, right? And I had a client who was like, oh, that seems cool. Like, I'm going to do that. And I was like, right. But that chef eventually ended up opening restaurants, right? So they were building up clientele to eventually get people to come to their restaurant. My client didn't want to own a restaurant because that's not what I help people do, because I've never owned a restaurant, so I can't teach you how to own a restaurant. There are plenty of people out there who probably can teach you how to start and run a successful restaurant. And so I was like, you don't know what people's strategies are on why they're doing certain things. Was it a loss leader? Were they profitable? We don't really know, right? And so while it's okay to be curious about something and to take inspiration, like trying to copy what other people are doing, you don't really know. You don't even know if that thing is working for them. Okay? So stop trying to copy what other chefs are doing. I have a whole video about definitely stop doing that for setting your prices. Like, again, you have to be, this goes back to stop doubting yourself. You have to be confident in your own business and what you want to do, right? And trying to copy other people, you will always be one step behind. Let me tell you, there are people who try to copy me. Like, there are people who literally have taken things that I have said and try to build a whole business around it. And I chuckle because I'm just like, listen, you will always be 25 steps behind me because you have no idea where I'm going with this. You have no idea the inner workings of what's going on behind here. You have no idea why I do what I do in the way that I do it. So if you're trying to copy me, like, good luck. I hope that thing worked for you. Okay. And so like, it's comical to me, but I was just like a cautionary tale. Like, don't do that. And when you see people do it, you're just like, there's so many ideas out here running around loose. Like, you don't need to copy other people's ideas. Okay. Like, you don't need to copy their ideas at all. All right. Okay. So stop trying to do what you see other chefs doing. Ooh, now let me get into this next point. Okay, if you want to be successful, like, I feel like this video is like part encouragement, part rant, part cautionary tale. Let me tell you, if you want to be successful in your food business, let me tell you what you need to stop doing. It's taking advice from people who are not entrepreneurs. Oh my goodness. I could do a whole video about this. I've talked about this in another video. And again, I might have went on a little bit of a rant. I'm so amazed when people are like, I asked my mom, and I'm like, oh, is your mom in business? Well, no. Oh, I asked my cousin, is your cousin an entrepreneur? Do they own their business? Well, no. Well, I asked my friend, is your friend in business? Well, no. So you're taking business advice from people who are not in business? Because that makes complete sense. Like, and here's the thing. I'm not saying that people don't have occasional bouts of insight, right? And then sometimes they do it from, well, they're my target market. Probably not. Probably not. Right? If they're not already seeking out the kind of products and services that you're offering, right, then they're probably not your target market, right? So I'm always amazed when people are like, oh yeah, I asked, this random person on the internet, do they have a business? And then what's even crazier, like, well, this is not crazy, but the second layer to that is like, like, they don't even know food. Okay, like, I would say this, some business stuff is just good business advice. It doesn't matter what the industry is, right? There's like some fundamental principles that are applicable to every business. Also, there's a very different mindset from being a consumer to being a business owner. And so a lot of times when people are asking people's advice, they're asking consumers and not asking people who are business owners, right? And so here's the thing. There's a time and a place to ask consumers, but asking consumers or potential clients on how you should run your business is very different than asking them like what products and services they might be interested in. It's two very completely different things. Two very completely different. Wow, Evelyn, English. So like, again, like, stop asking either people who are not entrepreneurs or people who are not successful in entrepreneurship. It's like the blind leading the blind. Like, if they're struggling and you're struggling, how are they? If they knew what to do, they would have done it, right? Come on, y'all. Like, y'all are so smart. Like, stop asking people. Like, and let me tell you, it cracks me up all the time. And so when people tell me, like, oh yeah, I ran this by this person, whatever, I go, oh, okay. What'd they say? Because I'm always amazed, truly amazed, that entrepreneurs are asking non-entrepreneurs and unsuccessful entrepreneurs for entrepreneurial advice. I digress. Let's keep that's kind of like asking somebody who doesn't have kids about raising kids. Listen, I'm not saying that they don't have any wisdom, but they may have wisdom. They may have read something, they may have heard something, they may have seen something, but they don't have experiential wisdom. Unless they've been like a nanny for, 10, 15, 30 years, right? Then, okay, then they know something about dealing with kids. But it's like, you don't have no kids, you don't work with kids, you're not around kids, but you got advice on how to raise kids. Okay. Again, I'm not saying they may not have a nugget of wisdom here and there, but in general, it's like, but you haven't lived this thing though. Like, if it's one thing I know that y'all can tell from my videos is that I've done what I'm telling you about, right? Like I've done these things, which is why I can create video after video after video after video after video, because I've actually lived it. I've done it, right? I'm sharing it with you from experience, and then I'm also sharing with you like the experiences of some of my clients, right? Because I not only have I done it, but I'm teaching people how to do it, and it works. And so then I'm telling you about their experience. So listen, stop taking advice from people who don't know food, who don't know business, or who aren't doing well in their own business. Like that a successful business does not breed. Okay. Let's oh, here we go. Here's the one here's another one that I just listen. Stop lowering your prices as a way to get new clients. Because what you're doing is you're going to teach your audience, your followers, your potential clients to wait for you to lower your prices before they use your products or services. Let me give an example. How many brands do you follow that you're like, oh, I like their stuff, but I'm only ever going to buy it when it's on sale. I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to buy it full price, right? And listen, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. And then there's some brands who never offer sales. When you think about a lot of high-end brands, they don't do a ton of sales. They don't lower their prices with the goal of trying to get a whole bunch of new clients. And particularly as a service provider, like, you about to be out here cooking for, it goes back to, you better be cooking for cheap or for free with the hope of getting new clients. All you're going to do is get people who have champagne taste on a sparkling water budget. And then you're going to be frustrated, because then they will turn into the people that will, argue you down about your prices and negotiate your invoices and do all the things. And then you're wondering, how do I get out of that cycle? And it's like, well, you should have never started it in the first place, right? So if you have been doing that, I'm telling you right now, stop it. Stop it right now. Stop doing the things, okay? All right. So now here's another one. And this is one of those more like intangible things that I think that you really need to stop doing if you want to be successful in your business. And that is not taking care of yourself for the sake of trying to grow your biz. This is something I feel like people don't talk about a lot. There's so much hustle and grind culture. There's so much, sleep when you're dead culture. There's particularly in the food service industry, there's all this glorification about working hard and paying your dues, and bump that. Like, I want to be well paid and well rested. I want to be well paid and enjoy my life. I don't want to sacrifice my life for my business. I don't have to be exhausted to be an effective entrepreneur. Like, so, not taking days off, not going on vacation, not paying yourself well, not rewarding yourself. The thunder of it all, y'all, it looks like it's about to be a tornado outside. Like, that's how bad it looks outside, right? Okay, let me focus. It's trying to distract you from this good that I'm trying to give you, right? But like, not putting boundaries in your business, not charging your worth. It's a form of not taking care of yourself, right? Not compensating yourself well, not, feeling like you don't have time to take care of your body or rest or do this because you're trying to grow your business. Like, you will burn out, and you will start to resent your business. you will start to resent your clients and your customers. You will get frustrated. If you don't reward yourself and take care of yourself and pat yourself on the back and speak to yourself kindly and tell yourself you're doing your best, you're doing a good job, you know, things take time, right? Like, that you don't have to know everything. Like, you have got to take care of yourself in this journey. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And when you think about marathons, there's people along the sidelines for when you need water, when you need a snack, right? To encourage you along the way, that, you know, you don't have to go full speed ahead, because it's not sustainable, right? We want sustainable growth, not crash and burn, right? So I don't know why the idea of Wile E. Coyote is in my head. Like, he was just every time he did something, he was crashing and burning. And that's kind of what I see, like, when we don't take care of ourselves. I don't know why a Looney Tunes, is that Looney Tunes? Is Wile E. Coyote Looney Tunes? Y'all, I'm so random today. Like, I'm trying to be serious right now, but randomly cartoons from my childhood are coming into my head. But, like, that's kind of the image that I get. And it's like, you'll just keep hitting a wall and keep, you know, having to start over every time you get burned out. And it'll be this, like, crazy roller coaster cycle of being anxious and depressed and sad and frustrated if you don't take care of yourself. Listen, let me get through this video, because I listen. Okay. All right. So the next thing is, okay. You got to stop posting and praying. Okay. So a lot of times what I see, particularly on, like, Instagram, is I'm just going to drop this post of my food and pray that somebody books me. Yeah, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Like, think about the rationale that must be going on beneath the surface. And listen, I have done it. If you've done it, this is not judgment. I'm here to help you. Excuse me. I'm here to help you, because think about this. Let's say you post a picture of your food. People like it. Awesome. The likelihood that every person that sees that is going to go, ooh, by them posting a plate of their food, I know exactly what products and services they offer. And so I'm going to leave Instagram, find my way to their website, go on their website, figure out how to inquire about their services, inquire about their products or services, and book them. Yes, will some people do that? Probably not at the volume that you want for the kind of business that you want, right? Like, posting and praying is not it. You have got to have a social media strategy. When I just see people posting plates, I'm like, that looks delicious. What else? And then they're wondering, and then they're like, I hate social media. Oh, social media doesn't work for me. Because you just posting and praying. That is, posting and praying is not a formula for success on social media. It's not. Stop it. Get you some support around a strategic marketing plan. Okay? A strategic marketing plan. All right, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, because I've got 2 more to go, and I feel like this video is already long as it is. Oh my gosh, it's because of all the thunder, like, and I get long-winded when I get into, like, telling my stories and all that. Okay, here's the next thing, particularly if you want to be successful with the high-end culinary brand, is you have got to stop DIYing everything. Like, because if you're DIYing everything, like, you're an amazing cook, you're an amazing chef. Are you an amazing graphic designer? Are you an amazing photographer though? Are you great at website copy? Are you great at social media? Are you great at the administrative task of your business, right? Like, you again, this is like trying to be a Jane of all trades inside of your business and a master of none. So not only are you offering 14 different services, but now you're trying to fill 14 different roles. Like, some of these roles can be fulfilled with technology. Some of them can be fulfilled with hiring support, even if it's temporary, or at least learning from somebody who's better at it than you. Like, I was telling my private coaching clients, like, that I've had a ton of support over the years. Like some support, obviously, like, you know, with my assistant and things like that. But I've had coaches and consultants. Like I didn't get here by myself. Like I didn't DIY all of this, right? Because I would be exhausted. Because when I was trying to DIY it, I was growing at a snail's pace. And that's when I was like, I'm just gonna burn the whole business.
It's editing, Evelyn here, realizing that my last point got cut off, and because I am committed to giving you what you came here to get, I decided I would still record it and insert it here anyway. But the last thing that you need to stop doing in order to be successful in your chef business is trying to do it blindly and alone, right? So if you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you know I talk about like needing like a business GPS, right? And that the beauty of a business GPS, the way a car GPS works, is that with a GPS, it can tell you where you are and you can inform it of where you want to go. And because the GPS has been ahead of you via satellites and land surveyors, and it knows the terrain, it can offer you up multiple ways to get to where you want to go. A lot of times in entrepreneurship, we just get in the car and we start driving. We kind of know where we want to go. We've never been there before. We don't know how to get there. So we spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, sometimes a lot of money, a lot of frustration trying to figure out how to get there. And then when we run into things like accidents and traffics and potholes, it derails us and the process can become really frustrating. But when you have a GPS, that GPS has been ahead of you and it knows the way and it knows how to tell you to get there in the fastest way or the shortest way or the way without tolls and things like that. In addition, it also can look ahead and tell you, ooh, there's an accident and I can suggest an alternative route. And that is what having a coach, a strategist, a consultant for your business helps you do. They have been ahead of you. They have seen the terrain. They know how to navigate around those potholes, or they know when there's going to be traffic and still get you to your destination. And you can cut out all of those detours and running into construction, and those challenging issues are minimized that you would have had if you just got in the car and started driving, and you could have been going in the completely wrong direction. So, you know, if you have found yourself in that situation or any of these and you really need some support with that, then I encourage you to apply to work with me in the Chef's Table. I only take a certain amount of clients every year, and I do have some openings. If that is something that you're interested in, the link to apply will be in the bottom of the description box. And now we'll turn it back over to Video Evelyn to wrap up the video.
So y'all, I think the ending of my video cut off. So if I'm not sure where it left off. I probably will when I'm editing this, right? But I realized in recording, I was like, I think I might have prematurely ended my video. So if I did, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.